По сути, у них только одна нормальная линия. Это линия СТБ. Остальные две слиты. А причем сливать ОД линию, это... Ну, это плохо с точки зрения, что он... Вот у него будет быстрый метеор, причем, насколько я видел, No One сразу же его покупает.
Да,
Первой же шмоткой там...
Вот та линия, которая вот верхняя, казалось бы, хорошо стоят, но как ТБ фармит, но также и Бисмастер фармит. И когда у него появится Некрономикон и плюс ульт, начнутся очень серьезные проблемы. В общем, ранняя стадия за Монако Гамбит, уже это видно. 5 минут у нас позади. Баунтосик за Динайл, отличная игра от Afterlife.
По итогу 2 баунти за Гамбит, одна всего лишь за ЛГД. Ну вот мы смотрим Нетворс, и... Да даже то, что там ТБ перегоняет Бистмастера на 50 голды, это вообще ни о чем.
Ну, да.
Afterlife хорошо линию отстоял.
Просто мы понимаем то, что Террорблейд будет все это время фармить, и лучше бы, допустим, в теории, да, если бы вот могли бы как-то распоряжаться своими ресурсами пассажиры LGD, лучше бы ТБ имел чуть меньше фарма, но остальные имели в норме его, чтобы могли спейсить для ТБ, нежели наоборот, потому что то, что сейчас у ТБ все хорошо, а у остальных все плохо, картина происходит, все стакают свои пассивки, тут один настакал, второй настакал. Кто первый настакал, тот молодец, Санейка молодец, но Дрим тоже красавец. Он просто делает фраг, оставляет ему этот килл. Очень приятно. Так, ну тут закомбинить не удалось, успел Стрелсепом все-таки убежать. И тут даже на развороте, да, но есть помощь, с танчиком попадает. Ну тут 3 героя, дэмэджа, по идее, должно хватать. Да, сделали все-таки этот килл, убежать не удалось, но Ксинкью, возможно, тоже погибнет. Тычечка миссанула, предательский мисс.
Сейчас еще и на развороте здесь можно подраться.
Ну и нафиг Тусай тоже должен погибать. Должны. Да ладно, выживает еще и регенерация. Вот тебе и камбэк.
А ты не увидел, кто ему фласку дал?
Не обратил внимания.
Он выжил только благодаря фласке, которую кто-то на него повесил в последний момент. И вот та тычечка от Леона, которая прилетала последняя, вроде бы она должна была быть летальной, но вот фласочка как раз таки, вот, видишь, аппарат нажал фласку и спас своего мидера, и по итогу, ну, хороший размен для ЛГД получился.
Да, но тем не менее преимущество 2000
да.
за гамбитами. Да, Void Spirit, конечно, не так легко убить через вот эту комбинацию Астрал плюс Метеор. Все-таки, если там чуть-чуть, буквально миллисекунду по таймингу не успеваешь, то Метеор не попадет. Либо диссимилейт, либо Астрал Степ, ты уходишь. Ну, вообще, если давать тайминг в тайминг, прям по идеальному таймингу, то нельзя ничем задоджить.
Ну,
из того, что есть у Void Spirit.
Раз забрал себе. Ну, неплохой выход. Они не отдали Т1 вышку. С другой стороны, правда, у них теперь мид падает, и ты просто не успеваешь задефать. А глифа нет. А там катапульта. Ну, видимо, придется отдавать. Судя по этому варду, который аппарат поставил, он уже отдал эту вышку. И дефать ее, по сути, нечем. Как же мало у Фуриона и как же много у Манки Кинга. У Дрим...
Back involved, was able to refill up with the bottle. He's got some mana to be able to play around with. Drops the orb. That's another kill here for Nigma.
This is much more of the style that you want to be seeing. You know, you got that heavy rotation coming through. Finally, Kura makes his presence shown in the mid lane, and what a big impact. GH hitting some nice arrows as well, just making sure to hold it off. With it only at level 1, it has such that long cooldown that you can only realistically get one off in a team fight.
Yeah, meanwhile, we just see kind of the side lanes. Poyoyo's actually fallen back and farming up the jungle. He's already got 3 points in that Vampiric Spirit, so he should be pretty happy and be able to farm this jungle relatively efficiently, which will imagine one of the supports might soak down the bottom wave. But top, they're jumping Weehaw with the level 6s, old 11. Able to roll in with the help of the Storm Spirit, but they haven't brought him down just yet. It will not matter though. RMN a little bit too late to the party. He's still actually got to commit the exorcism here from the Death Prophet, so they will get nothing out of this as Aura can zip away to safety. The Spirit Breaker charge going to be a little bit too late, and now Iron Man's going to be careful. At least he moves incredibly fast on the Death Prophet.
Decide not to go. I think that might have been a bit different if Kuro TP'd to the lane and then started his charge, but you know, it's just level 1 right now, so the bonus speed not making an impact just yet.
Mid lane, coil drop, Poyo. Got to put in the ultimate, so we are going to be able to see the reincarnation. Has to pop the one though after the Ray Fire Blast. They haven't killed him just yet, man. Poyo. Okay. Happy about that, not having to put the ultimate on cooldown for 200 seconds.
That's a big deal. You just become so much more vulnerable if that's the case. That probably puts a lot more pressure on your own mid tower as well, but given that he's still got those 2 lives, he can play a little bit more fearlessly.
Man, Nigma playing really fast right now in this game 1. Looking to run down the Shadow Shaman. We'll get back to some form of safety underneath the tier 2 tower, but Miracle's even going to be able to jaunt forward. But he's got the backup of the team, as we see. Bit of a different performance here from Nigma, as they are just full out aggression right now in this first game.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the positive if you're a Vici fan is that it's not like you're losing everything for nothing in exchange. Your tower's not really under any sort of threat because the exorcism was already used. You've got DY who's farming up. He's making his way towards his turn.
Mid lane Miracle. It's gonna get brought down. Yeah. Chain lockdown.
And yeah, conversely, you've got a lot more pressure going on your tower. You know, no one's sitting around to try and defend against this. I'll see Kuro making the rotation through. They want to make this dive. Yes, they do.
TPs, but it's a little bit too late. Radiant, they've got an immense amount of damage right now. With Ori level 7, the Storm Spirit, way too much for them to handle. And this was great vision from Radiant. That play was enabled because they saw the rotation from Nigma down to bot with the Observe Ward around the secret shop. So they were well aware that Nigma brought a lot of resources to try and put some emphasis on pushing that tier 1 in the off lane, and it enabled them to be able to get the kill on the puck and then also dive the Spirit Breaker. The vision game already paying off dividends here for Vici.
Yeah, they're definitely one of those teams that really utilizes vision to the best of their ability. Normally it's DY actually that's making these great vision plays, but it's been ZinQ so far this game. DY's just sitting back farming.
We might be in trouble. Sunray's burning him down. Ori with the zipper spot just before the TP, and we tried to go for a cute play, stealing the bounty, but will not be able to do so successfully, as meanwhile a simultaneous fight around the mid tier 1 tower. RMN committing the exorcism. They're able to find the support in Vici Gaming and looking to try and take the tier 1 tower, but Vici, they're bringing the numbers here. They want to try and keep it alive, and RMN's going to be careful. They don't get the first clip. It looks like Old 11 should still be able to follow up. Meanwhile, the Rolling Thunder's about to expire, so nice sidestep from the Death Prophet actually keeps the life, but the tower has been successfully defended.
We're going to see a smoke coming out here as well from the team. You've got 4 heroes grouped around the tower, instantly gets popped, and they know that Exorcism is off cooldown. They know that they've got a huge potential to try and make a play happen, and it's Miracle who is priority number 1.
Once again, Miracle, just a jump from Ori. Too much for them to handle. They're even going to dive and drop the Supernova aggressively. GH has got to leap away to safety. PYW, unfortunately, unable to get in range to have the extra control, but guess what? Serpent Ward's going to get dropped, and it's actually Vici. They're going to be able to take a tier 1 tower before Nigma, and they've got a 3,000 net worth lead. Guess what? Meanwhile, Poyoyo, he's freely farming up the jungle. The Wraith King has a Midas, and he's already going back into the Radiance.
Not too often you see someone like a Monkey King go first item Desolator as well. Doesn't give you any stats, doesn't enable you to brawl that much easier, and it's not like it synergizes that amazingly either with any of your other heroes. Maybe the Puck if he goes the phase shift attack after a Witchblade, but it looks like he's going spell damage with that Veil of Discord queued up.
Yeah, do you like the itemization here for Miracle going the Veil?
Depends what he gets after the Veil, right? Like, of course, it's really good for your own damage. With GH as well, you're able to get off a lot of damage with that Starstorm. He's almost level 7, so it's going to be maxed out quite shortly. Same thing with the Crypt Swarm, so it's not terrible, but it's just... I don't know if what he's gone and what we has gone is going to sync up for what they need to do in this, 15 to 20 minute mark of the game.
Yeah, well, Nigma going to be able to play these fights with the extra numbers advantage, because it's more than likely, I mean, Wraith King with Midas and without Radiance, you're not showing up to fights. So this is the thing that I thought Nigma, you know, the lineup they have, they're just going to constantly take these engagements and have a fast-paced lineup. But, you know, it's where we see they haven't really made any aggressive movements to catch out the Wraith King, who's just been farming ever so safely in the jungle.
Well, they made that one, right, when he hit level 6, but it just didn't result in a kill. So it's meant that he's able to play a lot more of this, I suppose, greedy style where he can just sit back. He doesn't care if they rotate through to him because, worst case, you've still got all your towers. You can TP through and help.
Mid lane, Iron Man gonna roll in. They even have the extra follow-up from Old 11 as the Death Prophet's gonna get brought down here. Dire, they're sweeping through, trying to bring the numbers to take an engagement, but the Death Prophet doesn't have a buyback to rejoin them with the Supernova drop in the middle of the fight. They're even going to drop the Serpent Wards as well, as Weekhart has to bounce back to safety, but Nigma lose 3. They're even thinking about catching Miracle, but you just see how this game now, it's heavily impacted because Nigma, they just got a tier 1 tower pretty much 13 minutes in. These Death Prophet exorcisms just was not working in their favor at the early stage of the game, and it really slows down how you want to play when you can't get those early objectives.
Yeah, of course. And, you know, you mentioned before about how they want to be running at Vici. They want to be taking a lot of pressure to them because you know that this Wraith King is not going to have any kind of part in these early team fights. But you can't do that without Exorcism. You know, you might get a couple of kills, but it doesn't actually result in anything, and the game state doesn't really swing too heavily in your favor as a result of everything. So maybe going something like, he's banned out, but like the Mars, or just one of these other offlaners that has these low cooldown abilities where you're able to actually constantly run at people might have been a bit more effective for him.
And you were highlighting the draft that the Wraith King versus the Monkey King can be a decent matchup here for the Monkey, but we're seeing that Poyoyo's got a 3,000 net worth advantage over his counterpart on the position 1. So how do you think that matchup is going to change with a mass net worth lead that the Wraith King has?
I mean, it's really only effective if you die, basically. So if he's that far ahead, you don't give them the chance to put down that Wukongs, and if you force an early Wukongs, you can just run out of it, and then you're not really that concerned. I mean, wouldn't surprise me to see, we've got the Blink Dagger coming up next for the Shadow Shaman, but I think the 4-star is probably the next priority coming through for the supports on Vici Gaming.
Nigma will be able to claim that T1 tower mid finally. They're even looking for a pick-off as well with the Moonlight Shadow. GH might actually run into PYW here. Is he going to be able to get the arrow fast enough? They drop the coil instead. Miracle in the nick of time, but Radiant, the TP rotations, rainbows are coming through across the map. Nigma, however, still, they can bring the battle to Vici, but it looks like Old 11, they've got a ward on the backline, so he's going to be able to roll through. Tries to put his attention all on GH, but the Mirana too mobile here with the leaps.
Even bring the Wraith King down to the bottom side. I mean, yes, they've lost the tier 1 tower, but like you mentioned, it's 15, 16 minutes in. You don't really care all that much. You've got what you needed to. He might be in a bit of trouble now, though. At least he's level 12.
Yeah, the ward from Nigma saw the rest of Radiant actually disengage on the higher ground. Wraith King, Reincarnation. They got the Wukongs for an extra little bit of time. Nice silence as well. Protects the Phoenix to be able to dive in, and now Poyoyo is going to end up falling here. Nigma just keep Miracle alive. The orb away. Gotta be careful though, that was a lot committed from Nigma for that one pickoff, and Vici Gaming might look to answer in their own. But they just don't have the control without Ori there on the Storm Spirit. And once again, man, the vision, so important, that enabled Nigma to jump in, get the Wraith King before Vici were able to answer on that first life.
Yeah, the plus side for him is not losing too much reliable gold, because he was able to pick up the Radiance. Or at least the Sacred Relic component, so getting very close to becoming a lot more of a terror in this game. And Storm Spirit wasn't present there at all. He was just trying to finish up his Orchid, so maybe getting a little bit too greedy there.
See, it's 4,000 net worth lead though for the boys over on Vici Gaming, and this is all without their big timings with the Orchid on the Storm Spirit, which is actually now getting picked up, and also the Wraith King Radiance as well.
Wouldn't surprise me to see this 4-man rotation come through from Vici. They might be a little bit cautious because they saw that the Exorcism didn't need to be used by Nigma to make that happen, and you could see they're trying to go in onto Ori before he's able to pick it up. He's got that full mana pool though. Oh.
Ori, charge sets up for the arrow. And they have all the lockdown required here to bring down the Storm Spirit. That's a great pick-off as soon as Ori got the Orchid. And if you can get a couple kills on the Storm Spirit through this window, then you can really start to lose some momentum with this item. Even Old 11 as well. Fast-paced play from Nigma. The run into the Pango. Boundless sets up for the arrow. Where's the extra lockdown? Miracle's got the silence, so no Rolling Thunder. Pango's going to end up falling, and meanwhile, Miracle also dropped the coil for Poyoyo. Radiant trying to sweep to the top side of the map as fast as possible. They've got a buyback on the Pango. If he gets close to the tier 1 tower, they can definitely rejoin this fight here. Nigma, careful, wary how far they overstep. Weakheart drops the ultimate. Poyoyo still Boundless Strike stunned up. He's got this extra reincarnation, but meanwhile, Miracle's actually going to get controlled as Supernova dropped the middle of the fight, but GH doesn't have the attack speed. They're going to be able to find a third kill. Reincarnation, but it just slows down Weakheart as the rest of Vici, the bait play set up. They didn't even need the buyback from the Pango. 4 will drop as Nigma just can't output the damage required there. RMN has to scurry away with the Exism.
I think just overstaying their welcome a little bit there, Nigma. They, in order to make that gank happen on the bot lane, where they were able to pick off the Storm Spear in the first instance and put him on the sidelines for 40 seconds, RMN had to use his TP to get back to that sort of area. So it meant that he wasn't able to TP up to the top side, use his Exorcism to actually, keep them in that fight. They still had Exorcism off cooldown, but he was just sitting bot side, trying to get that level 12 so that it could have that doubled effectiveness. And I mean, he just ended up popping it anyway and didn't result in anything. I'm not sure if it was spotted out by Vici or not, but if they did, this opens a huge window for them, because now you've won a team fight, you've got the Radiance, you've got the Orchid, you're starting to build towards that BKB on the Storm.
Radiant got a lot of vision around mid as well, but they don't have the Supernova nor the Reincarnation. So they're going to have to be pretty defensive with their positioning across the map as they're stepping over towards the triangle. Ori? Oh, quick Orchid, but they're still going to be able to get the coil. Storm Spirit doesn't have the backup of the team. Old 11 finally able to come over with the blink. Nicely done. Chain locking down Miracle. The Moonlight Shadow. Where's the detection? Phase shift in the nick of time. Silence as well, but Miracle's going to get cricked down. Poyoyo finally online with the Wraith King. He's got this radius and wants to fight. They bring the battle to Nigma. Kuro unable to do anything here as full will end up dropping. They might even make it a team wipe. Old 11. Vici Gaming. Too fast, too strong. 5 down on the decks, 9,000 net worth lead, as Vici might look to try and take an objective after that. They still have the Serpent Ward, so they're going to think about walking into Roche potentially.
Yeah, and all the while, Old 11's just like, oh, an Ancient stack, I'll take that away from you. It just extends that lead, and it just feels like this Weeha Monkey King isn't really resulting in anything. You just saw in that team fight, he goes down relatively easily. No stats provided by a Desolator. It's not like, an Echo Saber that at least gives you that little bit of strength.
And this is scary because now you're going to be able to get the Aegis on one of the best Aegis carriers in the Storm Spirit. Poyoyo already has a second life with the Reincarnation. And we just see Vici Gaming. This is the China Classic. They can execute team fights at such a high level. And we are seeing this time and time again from the boys. Coming over the sweeping movement from making sure whoever gets initiated on, at least they have backup. And it's just enabled them to continue to accumulate such a high net worth lead. And Nigma now kind of stunted in this growth. How do they really come back here, Denog?
With great difficulty, essentially. I mean, you're going to need to wait for someone to basically make a misplay right now on Vici Gaming, right? You're getting closer and closer to that BKB. I don't think they've actually taken like a fight with this level 2 Exorcism available for the Death Prophet, so we'll see if they're able to make something happen before those BKBs start to become online, because like I mentioned before, right, Miracle's gone this magic damage build. You can see he wanted to go for Dagon as the first item after the Veil of Discord, but because of how easily people are dying, he's just forced to go back into the Yule Scepter for himself.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a tricky game overall. They've had the catch, Old 11. Might be in trouble. He's got that roll-up protection in the shot, and now Radiant once again sweeping over from top to mid, constantly everywhere on the map as Kyoki gets a little bit of protection in a small hidey hole, but it will not matter. Vici Gaming finding another kill.
Yeah, they've even got the jam on DY, so he's just going to be moving around, maybe using the fire spirits just to pop up vision onto the high ground, and it just takes away so much map control, map awareness, and you mentioned before how effective it's been so far.
Oh, wow, that's quite the early exism. Yeah, that's... I mean, they saw the storm jump, and RMM's like, all right, team fight's gonna break out, gotta chuck out the ultimate, but like Vici just back off, and this is the thing about the Death Prophet. If you waste early exisms in the early game, can really stunt how this hero wants to scale on the early map objectives, and we saw that. Nigma didn't get towers. Now we've also seen some exisms be wasted, and it's really hurting them in a lot of these fights.
Yeah. And they just have the freedom to go take that top tower, Who are they going on now? Kura's been caught out. Didn't pop the Stampede just yet, but he should still be fine.
You do see how tanky Kuro actually is. I mean, 1700 HP. Even when he has the, when he's got that bulldoze, some of the status resistance as well. But this is a game where, man, just so much farm. You see the Wraith King, he's almost got the BKB completed. Storm Spirit's almost got BKB completed. So honestly, they might wait about 30 seconds, get these items, and then have at least a minute 30 left on the Aegis to take the rest of the objectives.
Yeah, Wraith King almost hitting his level 18 as well, so that's just going to enable them to, again, be that much more, play that much more aggressive style. Like, you don't need the Mass Serpent wants to take a fight. You don't need the Supernova. At this stage of the game, like, the Sun Ray starts to outweigh the effectiveness of the Supernova, and that's available every 30 seconds.
Dire, once again, just continuing to lose their vision across the map. This early gem pickup really helping them with the control that they already have so far. We've seen the vision has been an important factor for either team, honestly, getting some pickoffs, but now it's just Radiant having the control. Is it going to try and zip in forward? But they've got to be careful because the quick silence from Miracle, but the backup is there. Rolling Thunder once again from Old 11. They're able to deal with the Storm Spirit, but the Supernova dropped in the middle of the fight. Old 11's able to bounce back as well as RMN will drop. That's 2 down. It's here with the Aegis. That's all.
Man, Old 11 is playing well.
Yep.
Not only, winning the lane against Weeha, as that Panga versus the Monkey King, probably always going to happen, but just the amount of times that he's been able to use that Rolling Thunder, Blink Dagger in onto multiple targets, and it's just great coordination that we're seeing all throughout.
They might have an opening here. The vision that the Monkey King was able to provide saw some TP rotations out, as now Ori has some bottle charges to play with, even the BKB as well if required, so they get the kill on Phoenix. At least something, but they don't get a lot of the bounties, though.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And, with that tower going down, I think it was... well, he only got the assist gold from all of that, but DY, now he's got enough to be able to pick up his 4-staff. So even if you get the perfect Wukongs out, either just 4-staff your Wraith King away, or even if he's in poor positioning himself, 4-staff Weeha out of it, so that, the Wukong spell breaks.
And... I mean, you highlighted how Old 11 has had an incredible game 1 here, and he's got a Your Scepter now picked up. I mean, he's second in worth, and this extra form of lockdown for someone like the Puck, even the Monkey King as well, is a hero that really relies on not being kited. Just the itemization from the Pango on point this game, and all in all, Vici Gaming an on point game 1 is they're just looking to continue to dominate the map and make it so difficult for Nigma. They just have to already start grouping up as a team and slowly just, weakly shoving in the side lanes. Oh, mid lane, jump in. Weeha's gonna get caught out. The vision once again deep underneath the mid lane. Old 11 should be able to get out A-OK.
I mean, it wouldn't have made a difference there, but I don't see the point of Weeha just having his Ogre Axe purchased and sitting on the courier. Why not have it on yourself? Like, it doesn't exactly reveal it's a BKB. Maybe you're going for an Echo Saber, right? And it's not like you're going to be building anything else, as they're just keeping on diving. It's looking ominous.
Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's courier has been killed. Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
You can see here Vici Gaming, they're just taking whatever they want to, they don't even need the safety of that Aegis. They're just able to rotate through towards the top side. Level 20 now on the Wraith King. He's building towards that AC. It just feels like they've itemized correctly for every single portion of the game. And they've itemized collaboratively as well. You know, it's not like the Blade Dagger might not have been the best item for Old Eleven's own game at that point, but the amount of times that he was able to save either the Wraith King or the Storm Spirit is insane, and that's exactly what an offlaner needs to do.
Yeah, it's been an incredible performance, and I wonder if this is going to, you know, force Nigma to maybe ban out the Pango. But Old 11, he is a experienced player and has a lot of heroes in the wheelhouse, and you can't ban out all of his hero pool.
That's why they call him the Neck God.
Weehaw is in trouble. Ori with the catch once again. Just so much range they can get across the map with this Storm Spirit. I mean, it's a 99% win probability, and at least 1% from Nigma, but I don't think that 1% is going to be enough, as it's almost 2 full sets of racks advantage, just the range still holding strong up top. But, you know, Radiant, they might just wait till Roshan. It could be up in 30 seconds.
They can even just go whack that tier 1 tower bot if they wanted to. Oh, he's sitting on 13 HP. Maybe not wanting to refresh the glyph, you know?
Yeah.
You got 50 seconds. Try and end the game if they get another pick off. But I think that 1% is probably just around Weeha's BKB. If he can get that and level 18, then maybe if the planets align and, you know, everything works perfectly, they can try and take a W, at least in one of these team fights, and work from there. But it's a long way back to be coming from, that's for sure.
Unfortunate for Vici. Gonna be a 2-minute respawn on the Roche. Not really that it was required. I mean, if they wanted to feel comfortable going up high ground, but they have such an advantageous position at the moment.
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
Even the Shaman hitting up onto his level 15, so he's got that extra cast range alongside the Aether Lens and the Psychic Headband, so good luck to anyone that's even mildly out of position.
Well,
we see
Nigma,
right now.
they're wildly out of position as both the supports get picked off. They might at least be able to trade the kill on the Phoenix. So support for 2, but it's still, you see the map continuing to shrink as finally Vici going to try and get these outer towers, so they will have the opportunity to go for the Megas, and even a Basher picked up for Old 11.
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
Why not? You know, it's one of those great items for a Pango that just lets you scale into the later stages of the game with the Abyssal Blade, where those BKBs start to become a bit more of a factor.
Just it was looking like a bit of a different Nigma at the start of the game 1 here, but just ended up being Vici Gaming. You know, just the class performance, and it's looking pretty grim right now. I mean, we're struggling to see a way for them to come back. You highlighted maybe the BKB level 18 on Monkey King, which he does have right now for Wii. So maybe one more fight in the tank
Dire's courier
from the boys over on Nigma. You know, they're pretty close to the Aghanims on the puck as well, so one last stand.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a pick your poison sort of thing, right? Like, do we leave the base and try and make something happen before Roche comes up? Well, we don't have enough items, or do we wait for them to have 2 lives on their Storm Spirit again? You know, it's not really a winning position to be in regardless. They've already used that Moonlight Shadow. I think they used it when people were on the low ground, so it could have been spotted out if Vici were on point with their vision. But the time has come. Roche is being taken again. That cheese going to become available as well. It's pretty scary. Close to level 20 as well on the Storm. I think he's got that Bloodstone finished up as well.
You saw Dire, they're outside the base. They scanned and smoked up to try and contest that Roche, but they were way too late. Poyoyo's a bit away from the team. Dire trying to make a wraparound with the smoke. Who have they found? It's going to be PYW here. Well, the Nether Shark actually misses with the arrow, but they still have way too much damage for the Shaman with his health pool. But now with the buyback, Wraith King able to man-fight Weeha, BKB, Wukong, but Poyoyo just melts through him. The timing on the Monkey that we were hoping for a potential comeback is not going to be there, as Nigma will lose 4. And that might just be all she wrote here, as even RMN trying to get to safety. Ori stuck in the trees, unfortunate zip from him, but they're already walking down mid. They sense the end of the game, and Poyoyo is going to try and force him out here.
Just looking to pick up that Arcane Rune in the bottle. takes a few sips, picks it up, and yeah, I mean, this is the end of the game. They use the Wukongs, they use the Exorcism, they've got nothing left, and they lost nothing on Vici Gaming's side. Just the Rolling Thunder to potentially wait for 20 seconds. You don't need the Mass Serpent Wards to close this one out. Look how confident that is.
Yeah, I mean, Ori, Arcane, you can do pretty much anything you really want with the Storm Spirit. I think he even dodged the Charge Stun as well. And Tier 4's now under siege as Vici Gaming looking to close this game 1 out. Dire, they will have Miracle up in a couple of seconds along with Weakar, so the Glyph at least stalls them out. Looking for one last fight, one more opportunity. But down 36,000 gold. Their backs against the wall in this game 1.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Are we at 100% yet?
Surely, right?
We're still at 99.
99. Just roll in. Miracle falls constantly this game. The Pango and the Storm Swoop and a thorn in the side from Nigma. Cheese gonna get eaten. Now with the bash as well. Dropped in the Serpent Wards. They drop everything on the ground. And finally, Nigma will tap out. A masterclass performance for the Chinese powerhouse, taking game 1 here in our best of 2.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that basically means Nigma's days are numbered at this major. You know, they needed to win every single game they could. If they did, they would have been on a 4-6 record, which, you know, it's still not great, but if other results fell their way, but I think 3-7, again, even if they win everything else,